We are back in Salt Lake City for a final round of the season, once again in front of a capacity crowd for Monster Jam World Finals 24 at Rice-Eccles Stadium. Welcome to Monster Jam Primetime. I'm Scott Jordan alongside Adam Enticknap. Last round we crowned 2 World Finals champions as Tristan England won the USC Two-Wheel Skills Championship and Tyler Duke took home the JCB Racing win. Adam, we came into Salt Lake City and started off World Finals 24 with a bang.
Yeah, we call it the biggest event of the year for a reason. Tristan England went out and dominated in two-wheel skills. He's been the best two-wheel skills driver all season long, and he debuted that once again. But on the other side in racing, Todd LeDuc, absolutely incredible performance. He announced his retirement this last week, got the Lifetime Achievement Award in Monster Jam, and then goes out in the red lane and absolutely dominates. Wonderful career for Todd LeDuc.
Tonight we will close out the 2025 Monster Jam season by crowning 2 more World Finals champions in the Lucas Oil High Jump and BKT Freestyle. Our 2 reigning champions in those competitions, Colt Stevens and Tyler Menega, will defend their titles. Adam, who has the strongest chance of repeating as champion?
Well, both these drivers have 2 consecutive World Finals championships, so it's going to be hard to decide. But if I have to choose, I got to go with Tyler Menega. He's one of those drivers that just has the momentum right now during that season. He won that championship, and now Matt Gaughan has just enough time to get that truck perfect for Tyler Menega to make it happen.
Before we get to Tyler's BKT Freestyle defense, it's time to start the night with the Lucas Oil High Jump, where 8 of the highest flyers in the sport will launch their Monster Jam trucks off the ramp to try to take home the World Finals championship. Barton Musauer, Ryan Anderson, Jim Kohler, Caleb Blood on deck in this competition. They'll be joined by Camden Murphy, Bryce Kenny, Colt Stevens, and Jamie Gardner, who replaces Zach Gardner. We talked about the front steer issues from JCB Racing, so Zach Gardner out, Jamie Gardner in. Each competitor will stage with the front tire 60 feet away from the takeoff ramp. The official height for each truck is calculated based on the top of the rear tire at the truck's highest vertical position. And we start with Bari Musauer in Zombie, and he has had some huge wow moments in his career. Former fan favorite driver wow factor award as well. Off the ramp goes Zombie, and our first competitor off the ramp, big time sky wheelie jump for Zombie. Here's the original super glue, glued to the action replay.
Looks like he got the brake check just a little bit late there. Remember, it is the height of those back tires. Definitely a respectful height, but I don't know if that's going to pull off a win.
It's all about timing, and Ryan Anderson knows everything about timing. He has won 2 Lucas Oil High Jump championships in his career. Here comes Son of a Digger off the ramp, and this is what I'm talking about, Adam. The timing of the brake check to get the nose of the truck down and the back 2 BKT tires up. Here's the original super glue, glued to the action replay.
I can't even explain to you, Scott, how hard this is. The compression of your body on that ramp to get the brake check that early. Your body just is getting pulled to the ground, and then you have to somehow lift your foot up and grab that brake check. Almost feels like instantly when you're inside that truck. Perfect execution from Ryan Anderson. That's going to be hard to beat.
Defying gravity, Son of a Digger, getting it done. Here is Jim Kohler, Avenger, the 7-time Extreme Air Award winner. He knows a thing or two about soaring into the sky. There goes Avenger. Not a whole lot of air. Nice bounce, though. But Jim Kohler just did not get the velocity you want to see in that truck to get it off the ground.
Yeah, you got to look right there at the beginning of that ramp. It looks like the rear shocks just slowed down. The rebound slowed down quite a bit, not giving Jim Kohler the pop he wanted off that jump.
Caleb Blood, Sparkle Smash. Also former Extreme Air Award winner. Here comes Sparkle Smash, vertical sky wheelie. So she does not get the front end of that truck down. She just keeps it all the way up in that vertical base sky wheelie. And Caleb Blood coming off of the original super glue, glued to the action replay.
Yeah, that's very frustrating for Caleb Blood. It looked like she might have had the height, but she has to get that brake check in there to get those rear tires up. But those back BKTs is where we measure from.
Nice roll there on the end. Here is Camden Murphy in Classroom Crusher. Our first opportunity to see school bus come off the ramp. Off the ramp goes Camden Murphy. There's your brake check. Does not get the nose down. Is able to float over that ramp, though, for Classroom Crusher.
Yeah, Camden Murphy did a good job here, but he wasn't able to maximize those rear tires. What you're looking for in the air is to level out that truck mid-air. Didn't quite get the brake check early enough.
Not going to beat the score set by Son of a Digger. Not going to beat that height. As we take a look here at our current leaderboard, Son of a Digger 23.242, Zombie 16.976, Classroom Crusher in third. Here is Bryce Kenny in Monster Mutt, the most viral moment in Monster Jam. That award won by Bryce Kenny for moves like this, jumps like this. That's a solid brake check at him, and he comes out with a slap wheelie combo as well.
Yeah, definitely good execution from Bryce Kenny. I don't know if he's quite got the height that Ryan Anderson. Let's take a look. Ooh, 20, not gonna do it, but I think that puts him in second place right now.
That will put him in second, just behind Ryan Anderson. Up next, Colt Stevens, Thunder Roars, your defending champion. Here comes Colt, and he is gonna clip the back two tires on the edge of that step-up ramp. So Colt Stevens, disastrous performance there. That's not what you want to see from your reigning champion.
Yeah, I want to look at this once again. It looks like he just hit the brake check a tad bit too early. You can see it right there. He does. He hits the brake check as he's going off the ramp. He just anticipated it a little too much.
And here's Jamie Gardner. El Toro Loco started the week as an alternate. Now he's in the competition for his son, Zach. Jamie Gardner with some nice air, and El Toro Loco greases the wheels on the landing. And a little finesse there from El Toro Loco.
Yeah, you can see here what he does is he gets a little off kilter at the beginning. He steers a little to the right. It's hard to control that 1,500 horsepower and keep it straight, and that's why he didn't get the height.
Well done, stepping in there for Jamie Gardner. Here's our final leaderboard. Son of a Digger going to win it again, 23.242. MonsterBot in second, El Toro Loco in third, Zombie fourth, Classroom Crusher in fifth. Ryan Anderson is going to win his fifth World Finals championship. 3 of them have been in the Lucas Oil high jump. Let's join Leslie and our champion Ryan Anderson for this Northern Tool and Equipment pit report.
Ryan, you were really worried about your motor out there. It was the elevation, the tune, but you had lots of power out there because you really outjumped everyone picking up your third.
Man, I definitely did not think I had the power for it, but it came through at the last minute. My boy Bryce Langlois, my crew chief, man, my homeboy, he got that thing dialed in for me. We put it on kill, and I had hey, my little son Halen, my beautiful wife Chelsea, my son Race watching from home on YouTube. Man, everybody, my family, my friends, everybody's here supporting me, driving me to jump as high as I can. And then Salt Lake fans going absolutely berserk as always, man. So it wasn't a good weekend for me until just now, and I couldn't be happier about it.
Up next, we bring a Spin Master playset to life with the JCB Digatron SmashBot stunt when we return with more Monster Jam Primetime. Monster Jam is brought to you by Spin Master. Crush it, crash it, jam it. We are back with more World Finals 24, Rice-Eccles Stadium, capacity crowd here at Salt Lake City. And last round we brought you the Tech Deck Rec Deck stunt with Bryce Kenny. Tonight is Tristan England's turn with the JCB Digatron SmashBot stunt. And before we get back to the track, we take a closer look at the making of this epic Spin Master collaboration.
And here comes stunt truck, big air right out of the tunnel. Welcome to World Finals.
So at Monster Jam World Finals, stunts have really revolutionized what we do. One of the stunts at this year's Monster Jam World Finals is the JCB Digatron SmashBot stunt. So the origination of this stunt really came from the toy itself.
So I draw a lot of inspiration from anime and games. SmashBot came to life because I wanted a big spectacular battle with a giant robot, and I thought it would be a cool idea if JCB truck smashed into it and crashed in a spectacular way.
What was really important in making this was making it look like the actual toy itself. We were able to work with our in-house Feld Entertainment team and really be able to build this thing larger than life, but making it safe as well.
All right, guys, let's go. Every part of the stunt has to be calculated perfectly, but yet be super safe. And when they told me it'd be Tristan, I thought that's perfect.
Going in to do a stunt is nerve-wracking. I'm really excited about this stunt. It'll be my first one, but the practice is what was even more fun about this whole thing.
With this stunt, it really shows what we're able to build. The stunt itself is going to be absolutely epic. We're extending the limits of what we've done, what we can do, and what we're going to see in the future.
Tristan England is ready for his first World Final stunt. As JCB Digatron is lined up, we see that life-size Spin Master SmashBot playset on the track here at Rice-Eccles Stadium. And here comes Tristan England up over the step up and right through the giant SmashBot. What a stunt for Tristan England and JCB Digatron. Adam, I feel like I'm a kid again watching a big playset come to life.
Yeah, absolutely destroyed that robot. Tristan England didn't quite stick the landing, but that's what the crowd wanted to see here at World Finals. You can see him take off hit that SmashBot's head right off the top, and then you can see right there, just got a little bit to the left side, but Tristan England's okay and ready for the rest of the night.
Tristan England off the ramp. Talk about brake check. He reaches the top of those BKTs all the way up to the top of that SmashBot, getting it done. Absolute carnage on the track. So what a moment for Tristan England. So far in Salt Lake City, 3 World Finals champions have been crowned. 1 remains, which brings us to our final competition, BKT Freestyle, out of what makes for a successful World Championship run.
Well, there's 3 things: originality, recovery, and that big wow moment. You have to make sure you do something that no other driver does, and then that big wow moment, you have to launch it for the crowd if you want the points.
24 drivers will compete in the competition. Let's take a look at our freestyle running order. It is going to be the 2024 Monster Jam Co-Rookie of the Year, Mike Pagliarulo and Excalibur starting us off. Tyler Menninger Gravedigger, the reigning freestyle champion, will close us out. But it is time to start our final competition. Out of Osteen, Florida, former Rookie of the Year, Mike Pagliarulo. With more on Mike, we go to our pit reporter, Leslie Mears.
When I caught up with Mike Pagliarulo, he was actually looking at the track mag with none other than former World Finals Freestyle champion Charlie Hawken. And he told me, hey, there's nothing like some free advice from a World Finals champion. He said that this track out here is very similar to the track that Charlie won his title on. So he gave him some tips and tricks. I also saw him get some advice from Jim Kohler-Avenger, another freestyle champion. And so the young kid out here taking all that advice in and putting with his knowledge with his multiple freestyle wins over the season to try to put it together tonight.
Thank you, Leslie. Mike did have some epic freestyle runs of the season. There's your criteria: 30 seconds to qualify, failure to complete 1 minute, 1 point gets deducted. You want to use everything on the track. You can do 2 backflips at World Finals, and of course that weighted point system, 75% going to the expert judges consisting of Tom Meents, Dennis Anderson, Heavy D, Michaela Toluchka, and Fernando Martinez. 25% goes to the fans. And Mike Pagliarulo, I wouldn't say a lot of pressure on him, but expectations here for this young kid at World Finals, going for the first Morgan backflip of the night. Excalibur making it happen. Body getting shredded off the truck. I love the silver Excalibur, giving that classic old school look. Yeah. Oh, he's going back at it again, Adam. 1 more in a row. Might as well.
I love that, 2 backflips in a row, but Scott, I have to tell you, you're a little bit wrong there. The pressure is on for Mike. I am telling you, this is the biggest moment in Monster Jam. This is what every Monster Jam driver wants to execute on right now. It looks like he's going to roll over. Can he pull it off?
And Mike Pagliarulo's run is going to end. What a great way to kick off BKT Freestyle. Here's the original super glue. Glued to the action replay.
We're going to watch Mike right here jump onto the pod. He's going to come up short. This is one of those obstacles, Scott, that is going to wreak havoc all night long. He gets a front flip out of it, though. Definitely going to bode well with the judges and the fans. Then we're going to see the second backflip here. Solid rotation, just a little bit under. He's able to pull that off, though, by staying off the throttle. And then you can see here he launches it off the front side of that pod, tries to get a better angle, and then you can see just tries to turn into it a little too much. Those BKTs hook up, and he lands on the hood.
8.148 for Excalibur. It's off to an exciting start with Excalibur Freestyle. Continues next on Primetime. Monster Jam is brought to you by the Utah Sports Commission. Utah, the state of sport. And of course, Salt Lake City, Utah, the home of Monster Jam World Finals 24. It's round 26 of Primetime, and we are back in a capacity crowd. Rice Eccles Stadium, where during the break, Matt Cody came out. He would get a backflip, but only would score 7.146.
Yeah, great execution on the backflip, but you can see that left BKT locks up right there, and that'll be the end of the night.
And then Cody Saucier Dragon, he goes for a big jump here, but he's going to end up rolling all kinds of crazy in Dragon. He would end up with 76 seconds left, and he loses a point. And that brings us to our second LCQ winner. It's Cole Bernard and the Black Pearl. Now, I do want to point out that you did call me out and say that I was wrong, and almost like the weighted judging system, that it's 75% judges, 25% fans. It's 90% me, 10% you.
It is 90% you for sure, but in this particular situation, Scott, the pressure is on for these drivers. This is one of those moments that goes down in history. We talk about it multiple times as he goes in for the backflip.
Early for Morgan backflip for the Black Pearl. That is another big risk, big reward. He nails it, but I mean, you've been there. You're an athlete. That's why I hold a microphone. I don't have to deal with these high-pressure pack situations. Just as a rookie, you would think the excitement would be there for him. He's trying to have fun. But pressure, we're talking about pressure. Cole Vernard in the LCQ all week long just claiming, I should be in the main field. I should be one of these 24 already. I shouldn't have to fight my way in. He had a lot of pressure on him. The truck was acted up when he got to Salt Lake City, and he came through in a big way. Now he has to prove his worth here to try to win freestyle.
Yeah, and sometimes all that chaos can quiet other noises, and these are the crucial things. Like for Cole Vernard, he's having these problems trying to make it into the show, and now it's come to this point where he hasn't even thought about freestyle. There's no pressure on him in this situation because he has so many other things going on that he can't even think about this. He's in the moment, and that's what you have to do if you want to win.
There are a lot of landmines on this track, especially in the middle. So if you were going north to south on this track and you're trying to create that chaos and create that carnage, there are a lot of things for you to hit. We go for another Morgan & Morgan backflip here. We saw Excalibur hit two. Now Cole Vernard going for it as well. And he's going to get back on the wheelie bar, try to save it. And he's on the sidewalls now. So two incredibly valiant effort save attempts for Cole Vernard, going to come up short. Here's the original Super Glue Blue to the action replay.
Yeah, Cole Vernard doing a great job here in freestyle. Coming up a little short on that backflip, so unfortunate. Here, there's that first backflip attempt. He lands on all four BKTs, but you can see the second one. He's just going to get a little bit of a bounce off the nose, and then he hits reverse just a tiny, tiny bit late right there, and then he gets it back into forward. He's going to try to turn into it, but can't make the save.
Our next competitor out of Howell, Michigan, John Zimmer Jr. Terminal Velocity. It's the biggest track John Zimmer Jr. has freestyled on all season. With more, we go to Leslie.
Crossing over to this big stadium floor from being in arenas all season long, John Zimmer Jr. is really worried about filling his time because he said he's wired for 70 seconds. He says once he gets out here and he gets 60, he says he thinks he's just going to try to reset himself and think, okay, I just got to do that one more time, just not repeat anything that I already put out there.
Thank you, Leslie. Adam, let's talk about the transition for World Finals for an athlete like John Zimmer Jr., who won Arena Central, had an incredible year, made history as we see some skills moves here. He's going right for the Morgan backflip from a nose wheelie to the backflip. Great combination. He's going to come up short, pogo bounce, tries to moonwalk it. But talk about that transition because you don't get any time really to transition to these big stadium tracks from being in an arena all year. What is he seeing out there right now?
Well, his eyes are very, very wide open right now. He has to lean on people in his corner like his dad to be able to help him and give him that knowledge and experience that he has not earned yet. Right now, all he can do is try to stay calm and carry more momentum. That's really the biggest difference between those arenas and these big stadiums is how much momentum you have to carry around this track.
Great return to Monster Jam in 2025 for the Zimmers. Both he and his dad stepped away, went on the independent circuit, joined up with a new team out of Michigan named Sendin Motorsports. Straight up sky wheelie. Talk about those landmines. He just landed on one. And then they get Charlie Pock in the third as their crew chief over from Team Tomfoolery. It's a three-man team, and they are just dynamite working together. Brake check again. He is trying to create something as he goes up onto that step up.
Yeah, that's the originality that I was talking about. Gets a little bicycle action going on right there. Great job from John Zimmer Jr.
Run is over. Here's the original Super Glue Blue to the action replay.
You can see right here a nice little jump. He's going to tag those rear wheels, kind of throw a little two-wheel skills action into his freestyle competition. Great job from John Zimmer Jr. He's always been great in the two-wheel skills. And then here's that backflip. He's going to under-rotate a little bit, but he gets lucky, gets a nice pogo bounce, as you said, and lands on all four BKTs.
Here's how we stand so far in BKT Freestyle. Excalibur still has the lead. Terminal Velocity, Black Pearl, Gravedigger, Stars and Stripes, and Dragon are your current top five. Coming up, we continue on with high-flying World Finals action. More BKT Freestyle is next on Primetime. Monster Jam is proud to partner with and support St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Visit monsterjam.com/St. Jude to learn how you can join us in the fight against childhood cancer. We are back with the exciting conclusion to the 2025 Monster Jam season at World Finals 24 in front of a capacity crowd during the break. It was Kristen Anderson and Gravedigger Grandma just going over the car stack, ended up on the hood. And now we continue on with BKT Freestyle out of Kernersville, North Carolina. The winner of the most viral moment in Monster Jam award, it's Bryce Kenny in Monster Mutt. Adam, you and I have talked all season long here on Primetime about the season that Bryce Kenny has had. I asked him about that. I asked him, is this the best season of your career? He said, I don't think it is. He said, I don't think anything has really changed for me. I'm still driving the same. Maybe the numbers are a little different, but he really does not look at this as the best season of his career. He thinks it's business as usual for Bryce Kenny.
Yeah, I love that. And that's, Scott, that's coming from a true athlete. He's just saying he's doing the same thing all the time.
Morgan backflip attempt here from Monster Mutt. Bryce Kenny sends it over, and he gets a modified moonwalk on the back end.
Yeah, that's coming from an athlete for sure. He's trying not to say he's changed anything, but when you look at the scoreboard, it feels monumentally different. Bryce Kenny has definitely turned over a new leaf. The aggressive driving, the confidence that he has, the relaxation, and the just everything has been so smooth and fluent for him this year. Bryce Kenny's really on a roll.
Second Morgan backflip attempt. This time he goes off to the left. And this time he is able to get a moonwalk, but a lot of smoke coming out of Monster Mutt. That transition might be ready to go any second now, but Bryce is going to run this thing until it won't run anymore. He goes right past the 8-pack with a sky wheelie.
Yeah, you can tell how the RPMs on the truck are a little higher than normal. That transmission is definitely having a tough time.
And Bryce Kenny's just going to set this thing over on that elevated turn. Here's the original Super Glue to the action replay.
Here's the first backflip attempt. Bryce Kenny is going to get a great rotation there, land on all 4 BKTs, and then he's also going to get the combination move there. And then this is kind of where it went wrong for the transmission. Watch how he lands very heavy on that rear tire. You can see a little bit of extra smoke comes out, and then he throws it in reverse, finishing it off.
Up next out of Mirabel, Quebec, Canada, it is the former World Finals high jump champion Cynthia Gauthier and Lucas Stabilizer. With more on Cynthia's strategy tonight, we hear from Leslie Mears.
Guys, this is a first for me. Usually when drivers watch a couple runs, they get a better feel for the track, kind of like takes the edge off a little bit. Not for Cynthia. She told me after she watched the first 2 trucks in freestyle that it was more stressful for her to try to approach the track. She said though she did see a couple maneuvers that she wanted to incorporate in a run be successful, so that was a positive, but it really stressed her out.
Morgan backflip for Cynthia Gauthier, perfectly centered on that trench box. And it shows right there with the backflip. So don't forget, Adam, Cynthia Gauthier, as the truck, it looks like it almost comes to a stop there. She's able to get it going, but she did not make it to World Finals last year. She stepped away for a year to expand her family. So this is a return to the biggest event of the year for this young driver.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's why she's having so many nerves going on when she's watching the trucks. As an athlete, you see it happening and it comes to reality. Cynthia Gauthier getting some speed coming down this floor right now.
I love that Gravedigger Grandma is just laying there next to the backflip ramp. Cynthia Gauthier feeling that throttle rhythm, punches it into second gear. She goes over, and Cynthia Gauthier makes the save. Save of the night so far, trying to beat that 8.148 from Excalibur.
That's the recovery I was talking about in a perfect freestyle, Scott. Now we just need to see that big wow moment.
Unfortunately, that landmine going to be too much. That transfer jump just buried in that dirt. Too much for Cynthia Gauthier.
Yeah, nice job on the backflip here. You're going to see she lands on all 4 BKTs, taking the pressure off. And then here's that jump across. She's going to come up short, but she's going to be able to make a great save. You can see she stays on the throttle right there, and then she has enough truck awareness to let off the throttle at the right time. But man, these pods are just so difficult. She comes up a little short and lands on the hood.
Absolute carnage out there so far as you just see that dirt taking hit after hit after hit. Here is Camden Murphy, Classroom Crusher out of Itasca, Illinois. His first World Finals in Classroom Crusher after we saw that truck debut earlier this year. So we'll see what this school bus can do in Salt Lake City. At the pit party, fans lining up in droves to see this truck up close. It is a huge fan favorite. Camden Murphy, one of the most personable drivers in Monster Jam, and the thing that makes him even so much better is the fact that he can drive anything with 4 wheels on it.
Yeah, he really can. He's just great all across the board. It doesn't matter what type of vehicle he's driving, he is good at it. For Camden Murphy, I really believe the end of the season elevated Classroom Crusher as a truck, as an IP, and he needs to bring that forward here in Monster Jam World Finals. If he can do good here, get a podium wow, that would be monumental for his next season.
He finished third on Stadium East, and at one point it felt like he was almost an afterthought compared to Tyler Menega and Barton Musawa. But Camden, I think when you come to the end of the season, one of the most consistent drivers in the entire sport. If it was not for his slow start, Adam, Camden could have very well been in contention for that series championship, and right now he could be in contention for a world championship. Morgan to Morgan backflip for Classroom Crusher. Corkscrews the landing a little bit, but he's able to save it, and now he is done. So Classroom Crusher is done. That'll do it. Take a look at the original Super Glue to the action replay.
Let's watch this backflip. You're going to see a little bit of fluid coming out of that third member when he lands. At left rear BKT just gets a hard hit, and then you see the fluid come out right there when he tries to put it forward.
Here's our updated BKT Freestyle leaderboard. Excalibur still with the lead. Lucas Stabilizer, Monster Mud, Terminal Velocity, Black Pearl all in the top 5. Excalibur still hanging on to the lead, but will Mike Pagliarulo win it all in his first World Finals? Find out next on Primetime. Monster Jam is brought to you by JCB, the official heavy equipment partner of Monster Jam. We are back in an electric Rice-Eccles Stadium in Salt Lake City for round 26 in Monster Jam World Finals. We continued on with BKT Freestyle during the break. Ryan Anderson, son of a digger, went for the backflip here, was not rewarded with a great score, one of the lowest scores of his career. We go from one Anderson to another. That brings us to Weston Anderson driving a Gravedigger Red Primer onto the track. And in his 4th season in Monster Jam, he's the only driver to win 4 straight series championships. Starts his run off with a skills maneuver. So a different approach here for Weston Anderson, but we want to talk about dominant this young man out of Kildover Hills, North Carolina, since coming into Monster Jam, has absolutely dominated. He did it again, Adam, on Arena Championship Series West. He led from start to finish. He started the year at the Delta Center here in Salt Lake City, just down the road, winning 4 event championships in a row out the gate. And he finds himself here trying to bookend that with his first world championship of his career.
Yeah, there's no question in my mind, Scott, that Weston Anderson has an immense amount of potential, and every time he comes to World Finals, he seems to elevate himself to an entirely new level. One of the things that Weston Anderson really needs to work on, though, is just controlling a little bit of that chaos. I think once he can get some consistency, watch out, this kid is going to click off World Finals championships.
His numbers, at least in World Finals Freestyle, have gotten better each time out. So the question is not if he wins a world title, it's when he wins a world title. And I poke at him a little bit. You poke the bear to try to tell him, is this going to be finally the year? He always tells me, I really hope it is. And if he lands his backflip, he could be well on his way. Gravedigger Red Primer goes up, push off that back wheel and into a moonwalker to keep it in reverse all the way across the halfway point of this track. And now he's got everything else in front of him. 8.148 is a score to beat from Excalibur. Step up, brake check, floater jump into a combo for Weston Anderson.
That was so awesome, Scott, to watch him have blind faith and throw it in reverse. There's a little bit of skill involved there. He's making sure that he knows where he's going. And then a huge air for Gravedigger Primer.
And he is going to try to save this off the car stack. I think if the car stack wasn't there, he would have kept his momentum going. Take a look at the original Super Glue Blue to the action replay.
Let's check out this backflip. Comes in at a great pace. Weston Anderson rotation was perfect there. And then a huge air from Gravedigger Primer lands there. You see the BKT flexing out and hooking up. He's gonna roll over. Almost lands on all 4 BKTs, but can't quite do it.
And with an 8.279, we have a new leader in Weston Anderson. That brings us to Zach Gardner in Wildside. With more on Zach's approach to this event, we are going back to Leslie Mears.
As you guys well know, Zach Gardner had an amazing freestyle season on his first ever stadium tour. And when I asked him about World Finals Freestyle, he said, I'm going to use the same approach that I used all year long. Good speed, good momentum. That's what did it for me. And of course, big air. You can't forget that.
Zach Gardner has all the elements in freestyle to win this whole thing. We saw that throughout the season. 3 freestyle wins for him started really coming on towards the end of the season. And every single night out, this kid just went absolute lights out, throwing that wild side truck wherever he could fit it. Oh, look, he's got a flat tire at him. He's on 3 wheels right now.
Yeah, this is going to be very difficult. I hope the officials let him run. He had a big crash to start out his run. That wheel is so wobbly.
Not stopping at all, and they are not shutting him down. They're letting him go. Thank goodness for the strength of the other 3 BKT tires, because he is trying to run this thing until it won't run anymore. Zach Garner on 3 tires comes all the way across. He is going for a backflip with that back wheel just hanging on by a thread. He's able to land it. He's going to try to save it, and he does.
I mean, talk about a wow moment. Zach Garner right now grasping a World Finals championship. If he can pull this off, this is what the crowd and the judges are looking for.
He came out of nowhere to win the JCB Racing Championship 1 year ago. Now that tire is really starting to fold in a little bit, which is going to put him down to the rim, down to those bead locks, as he tries to continue to power through this run. And hats off to our USHRA tech officials for letting him do it. It's the biggest event of the year, the biggest stage of them all, and a World Finals championship is up for grabs. And I think that is finally going to do it, but what a run. That's the best 3-tire run I've seen in my career.
Yeah, Zach Garner absolutely rolling with the punches there. So unfortunate that that rear tire, that hub just did not hold up. You see the impact that it took on that left side right there. That's when it all started for Zach Garner. And then you can see he just did not care, went for it, put the pedal to the metal, got a few big wow moments in there, and then somehow Scott still manages to execute the backflip.
Stress on that axle without the tire being there. Unbelievable that it held together. Here's our current BKT Freestyle leaderboard. There's your new leader, Zach Garner, Gravedigger Red Primer, Excalibur Lucas Stabilizer, and Monster Mutt in the top 5. We got a new leader in Wildside, but will Zach Garner win his 2nd World Finals championship? Find out next on Primetime. We are back in Salt Lake City, where earlier today the biggest event of the year started with the biggest pit party of the year when fans flocked to Rice Eccles Stadium to meet their favorite drivers and see their favorite Monster Jam trucks. It's fun for the whole family. To get your pit party tickets, head on over to monsterjam.com. While we were away, freestyle continued. Dalton Wider, Jurassic Attack goes for the backflip.
Yeah, great execution, just not the score he's looking for.
Armando Castro, big time air here, but he's going to roll El Toro Loco.
That pod is just so difficult. Came up just a little short. He had a nice pirouette, though.
Style LeDuc is trademark. LeDuc, Leap, and Megalodon Stars and Stripes gets a 6.558.
Yeah, if you want a good score in Monster Jam Freestyle, everything has to happen.
And Avenger does not hit the 1 minute mark, so Jim Kohler loses a point.
Unfortunate for Jim Kohler. I'm sure he's not going to be stoked, but it's moving on.
That brings us to 2-time World Finals champion Colt Stevens in Thunder Roars. Who can forget 2 years ago when Colt came out of the broadcast booth, Adam, to win the BKT Freestyle Championship?
Yeah, it was definitely one of those moments that's going to go down in World Finals history and in just the history of Monster Jam itself. For Colt Stevens to do what he did was truly unbelievable and something that just doesn't happen very often in sports.
Colt Stevens, Thunder Roars, now line up a lot on Colt's mind, not only as a driver, but as a human being. I talked to him earlier this week. His wife, Miranda, is in the hospital about to give birth any day now to twins. So he is here right now on her wishes, at her request, to compete and defend his high jump championship. We saw that didn't go his way, but he's got a chance to win another freestyle championship. He's going for the Morgan backflip, and he pounces on it and makes a great one. So a lot on his mind. I know he is ready to win a championship, but also ready to get to his family back in Texas.
Yeah, you definitely have that urge to get back to your family, but having a wife and someone like that in your corner, having a solid home life is definitely important to performing your best. So right now for Colt, he's here, he's not there, he needs to go out and focus on the moment at hand.
What a birthday present it would be for his twins to bring them home another World Finals championship trophy. So Colt now taking the elevated turn all the way around. As we're seeing now drivers start to use that in freestyle. There's some cowabunga air from Colt Stevens, but he's going to take the front of that truck and rip it in half. Unbelievable ending to that run. Here's the original Super Glue to the action replay.
Yeah, when we were looking at the track map, we definitely seen some areas. This is the backflip that Colt Stevens just executed on. Great job from him, getting it back on all 4 BKT tires. And then here he's onto the pod, but the difficult part, right, is he had to get more slowed down. The front end of that truck just hits that landmine, and see you later.
Next up, out of Sullivan, Illinois, the Princess of Carnage, Brown Mahad in Scooby-Doo. And with Brianna Mahan's thoughts on this new two-day World Finals format, we go to Leslie.
This unique start for Brianna Mahan just might be the momentum cruiser that she needs to keep this run going. She said she was glad that she got to watch and make a plan, and it gave her more insight into what she was going to need to do out here on the track.
Thank you, Lizzie. So Adam, splitting the format up for World Finals to have some drivers race in one group and freestyle in another has given drivers a lot more time to really sit back and observe what they are doing on the track. And I do think that helps drivers like Brianna going so late in the order.
Yeah, it definitely does. And not only that, but it helps the crew chiefs as well just have a little bit more time. You have to remember this is a do or die moment for all these drivers. You are one and done. If you don't make it happen right now, you are not going to make it happen. So the pressure is on for her and her crew chief all at the same time. That two-day format really just gives you a moment to breathe.
Brianna Mahan, no stranger to the freestyle podium. She was on it in 2019 when Lindsay Reed won the World Finals Freestyle Championship. 8.713 is the score to beat from Zach Gardner and Wildside. That epic run on 3 BKT tires. Now Brianna Mahan trying to come for that. She comes up a little short. She goes into a sky wheelie cartwheel save. And Brianna Mahan continues to run in Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, that was the recovery we were looking for from Brianna Mahan. She did a great job of keeping it under control.
And she may have broken something in the truck. That will do it for her. Take a look at the original super glue glued to the action replay.
Yeah, here's the first save we want to watch. She gets on 2 BKTs, but you see her turn into it, and then she's going to get that momentum onto the opposite side of the truck, and she's able to slow it down. And then right here, she just hits that landmine. It pops the front of the truck up. She once again turns into it and is able to make another big save.
Take a look at current freestyle top 5. Wildside has the lead. Gravy Red Primer in second. Excalibur third. Lucas Stabilizer fourth. Then Monster Mud fifth. Coming up, we are down to our final 6 trucks. We will crown our BKT Freestyle World Finals champion next on Primetime. Salt Lake City been buzzing all week with the biggest event of the year in town. It's Monster Jam World Finals 24, and this is Route 26 of Primetime at Rice Eccles Stadium. During the break, Kayla Blood in Sparkle Smash. She would roll the truck at a 5.221. And then Barney Musauer in Zombie goes for the backflip. Under rotates it at him.
Yeah, under rotates right there. Lands on the hood. So unfortunate for Bari.
And then JCB Digatron Tristan England comes up short here, 5.263. That leads us to Blake Ranger and Monster Mutt Dalmatian, the 2-time series champion just this year. With more on Blake's perspective on this BKT freestyle run, we hear from our pit reporter, Leslie Mears.
Time goes a lot slower in the truck for our drivers than it does here in real time. And that's what Blake Granger noticed about watching freestyle. He said for him, he knows he needs to really push himself to be more aggressive and go faster all the time because those seconds are ticking off so fast. He doesn't want to lose time at the end of his run and not get his 2 backflips in. He said he's going to be aggressive just as he was in racing and ride the lightning on that berm one last time.
All right, thank you, Liz. What do you think about Blake's thoughts on this freestyle run? As we see some skills moves in here. Blake, one of the best in the business at skills throwing that into a freestyle run.
Yeah, one of my favorite things about Blake is he does come from a quad racing background, and he's just so smooth, and his timing on the jumps is incredible. And tonight, I feel like that is going to be very key for him to make it over all these landmines. A lot of these drivers have been coming up very short on these pods. Like in this section, he's able to slow down, make sure he's not coming up short and having a big crash.
Very technical run so far as Blake continues to hit on his marks. 17 freestyle wins on the 2025 season in 55 competitions. Break, check, jump as he makes his way over to the Morgan backflip side here. He's going to avoid it for now. His average on the year, Adam, 8.800. If he matches that tonight, he will take the lead in this competition.
Yeah, and that could very well happen. One of the things that I like from Blake that he's doing right now.
And Morgan backflip for Blake Ranger. He went from one side of the track to the other, and he nailed it.
Yeah, one of the things that I really like from Blake is he's just able to slide this truck and carry more momentum than I have seen anybody here tonight.
Floater jump right through the gap there into a nose wheelie combination, into a sky wheelie. This, in my opinion, is the most technical run we have seen tonight. And here he comes with another backflip. So one side of the track to another, hit every jump, every obstacle, and a little exclamation point on the end. Throws the steering wheel out, and that is it for Blake Granger. Here's the original super glue. Glue to the action replay.
I cannot believe what I just watched. That was so technical. The usage of the track and the combinations in the row. We have to see that again. A huge air off the step up. But this is that nose wheelie so smooth, and then he's able to slow the truck down, and then he gets a popper and pops the wheelie right there, and then after he does the wheelie and stalls the truck out, he's going to go into the backflip. We're looking at a triple, quadruple combination move from Monster Mutt Dalmatian. This is going to be a big score, Scott.
Blake Granger making full use of that track as we see that final backflip right there. He is awaiting his score. And we got a new leader, Adam, 8.848 for Blake Granger, Monster Mutt Dalmatian. And he means business. He is 2 drivers away from a World Finals championship, but one driver that knows a lot about winning world titles is this man right here. He's done it 5 times in his career. Adam Anderson back in Gravedigger, the legend.
Adam Anderson could definitely pull an upset right here. Blake Granger is in the hot seat right now. Not very many trucks left to go. Adam Anderson, one of those drivers that has the experience. He can do it on any given night, and he's done it before.
3 freestyle wins on the 2025 Monster Jam season for Adam Anderson. He won world championships in this truck. And with the announcement of all these Gravedigger paintouts, it only made sense that Adam Anderson is back in Gravedigger, the legend, and back on the Morgan & Morgan backflip ramp. Does not go for the moonwalk, did not punch it into reverse, still hits a backflip. And now he chops his way back around, coming on the other side. Near side track goes over the pod, transfers all the way down, gets a driver's bounce, and then brings it all the way back to the elevated turn. So big time momentum for Adam Anderson.
I mean, talk about professional. The amount of speed he needed for that jump. Another huge air for Adam Anderson and backsides the landing.
Slap wheelie combo just greases that 8-pack. Now comes up over the car stack.
Oh, he's got a right front flat, Scott.
Well, we saw what Wildside did on 3. We'll see what Adam Anderson could do. He pushes it into the pod, and he is going to try to save it. Just does not have enough room to make it happen. That'll do it for Adam Anderson. Here's the original super glue. Glue to the action replay.
Oh, that was so unfortunate at the end of the run. The momentum was there. Great backflip execution from Adam Anderson. He definitely missed the combination right there. He probably missed reverse just for a second, but this was so impressive to me coming from my Supercross background. He had more speed than anybody, able to carry it over that pod, over that landmine, and then right here, that was all about just that right flat front tire. You could see that right side just went into the dirt, and it was all over from there.
Adam Anderson run comes up short. It is all down to this, our final competitor, your reigning and defending BKT Freestyle World Finals champion, the East Series champ, Tyler Menninga in Gravedigger. So it's either going to be Blake Granger or Tyler Menninga taking home the trophy as Gravedigger is up on the step up, brings it into a nose wheelie, and he's going
goodness,
over.
Scott!
He is done. The truck must have shut off, and Blake Granger knows he's a world champion. What the heck happened to Tyler Menninga?
It looks like to me the truck shut off. Tyler Menninga giving us the thumbs down.
Major disappointment there for Tyler Menninga. Here's our final leaderboard. Monster Mutt Dalmatian, Wildside, Gravedigger, Red Primer, Excalibur, and Lucas Stabilizer. So Blake Granger wins his 2nd World Finals championship. His first came in 2019 in ATVs. Let's join Leslie Mears and our champion for this Northern Tool and Equipment Pit Report.
Blake, the flow just seemed to come so easy to you out there. Where did that come from?
Man, you know, I was talking to Tractor, my crew chief, right before we went out for freestyle, and I said we have to turn this track into a motocross track. Would I want to go out there and case any one of these jumps on an ATV? No. So I went out there and just picked my lines and stayed smart. It's not about going as crazy as you can. It's about being strategic. I'm just so pumped right now. I never thought I would be holding a World Finals Freestyle Championship driving this Monster Mutt Dalmatian. But this man right here, Chad, gave me all the confidence in the world all year to win 2 series championships, Arena Racer of the Year, and to finish it off with a World Finals Freestyle Championship. we're on the list with the big boys, driving one of the best trucks in the world. Dalmatian Nation, you beautiful Monster Jam fans, this was for you guys. I love you guys. Man, I can't wait to come back next year.
The dynamite year for Blake Granger continues. He went with that technical strategy. It paid off in a big way. He went down his resume, but unbelievable. International Series champ, Arena East Series champ, JCB Arena Racer of the Year, and finally BKT World Finals champion. What a run we've witnessed in 2025 for Blake Granger.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. Blake Granger has really established himself as one of the best drivers in Monster Jam. He drives with a chip on his shoulder. He wants the respect, and tonight he earned that. I can't wait to see what the future holds.
Well, that puts a bow on the 2025 Monster Jam Stadium season, so thank you for joining us all season long. For Adam Entignap and Leslie Mears, I'm Scott Jordan. We'll see you right here next year on Monster Jam Primetime.